Atlas's enigmatic companion objects shifted positions during the incident, forming a geometric structure distinct from their typical alignment. Object 3 emitted a directed surge of highly focused energy aimed squarely at Earth. What transpired when this beam reached our planet was unlike anything researchers have ever observed. The phenomenon occurred with no advance signal. Numerous observatories reported a sudden and massive spike in electromagnetic activity emanating from Atlas. Then, over the span of precisely 47 seconds, the object projected a concentrated stream of coherent light toward Earth, a level of accuracy that points to deliberate aiming rather than random discharge. This energy beam was so intense that it was observed by multiple orbital telescopes and even triggered alerts from military defense networks designed to monitor potential hostile energy weapons. What makes this even more unsettling is that the beam didn't simply pass near Earth or dissipate harmlessly. It made contact. Terrestrial detection facilities logged the beam striking a pinpointed area on Earth's surface, a remote site that coincidentally houses one of the most advanced radio astronomy installations on the planet. At the moment the beam connected, the observatory experienced a total operational shutdown. When the transmission ceased after 47 seconds, Atlas's electromagnetic readings dropped back to normal as though nothing had occurred. Yet disturbances in Earth's ionosphere persisted for several hours. Satellites that were within the beam's trajectory encountered brief malfunctions. But most alarming of all, during those 47 seconds, the Radio Astronomy Center collected data that scientists describe as physically inexplicable, embedded information encoded in a format we currently cannot decipher. Before we delve into what exactly was contained in that energy burst and why it was directed at this particular location, take a moment to support the channel. Subscribe, because what researchers uncovered in that 47-second data packet could fundamentally alter everything we thought we knew about Atlas and its objectives. This was no accidental discharge. It wasn't a misfire. Based on the precision, magnitude, and pinpoint targeting, this was a purposeful attempt at transmission. Atlas has just compelled us to receive a message, and now we're obligated to decode it. Let's examine the sequence of events from those 47 seconds, as the specifics reveal technological capacities that are as extraordinary as they are unsettling. At exactly 3:17 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time, instruments aboard the Solar Dynamics Observatory registered a sudden rise in Atlas's surface temperature. Within just 8 seconds, a focused area on the object's surface heated by over 5,000 degrees Celsius. Such a rapid concentration of energy implies vast power systems engaging all at once. One astrophysicist observing the readouts summarized it like this: "We recorded energy production levels equivalent to a large-scale nuclear facility reaching maximum output in under 10 seconds. Whatever mechanisms Atlas utilized to generate the beam, they were capable of channeling colossal amounts of energy with near-instant activation. That's a level of technological advancement well beyond current human capability." At 3 hours 17 minutes and 8 seconds, the beam activated, not a glowing haze or scattered emission, but a tightly focused shaft of electromagnetic radiation encompassing a wide spectrum: radio, visible light, and even high-frequency ultraviolet. The initial width of the beam was roughly 500 meters at Atlas's location, and remarkably, it retained that narrow focus across nearly 6.5 million kilometers to Earth. Such beam coherence across interplanetary distances requires a level of optical or field engineering expertise that modern science can scarcely imagine. Atlas essentially produced an interplanetary-scale laser pointer with surgical precision. Earth-based telescopes monitoring Atlas recorded the moment of beam release. The visual data shows an intense flare from the object, followed by a continuous streak of light reaching toward Earth, like a cosmic spotlight slicing through the void. Amateur astronomers with high-sensitivity gear also documented the event from various global locations. One described it as unreal. You could literally see the beam extending from Atlas to Earth. Not a reflection or atmospheric effect, visible within space itself. Whatever frequencies composed that beam, they interacted with something in the vacuum of space to become visible, defying conventional expectations. The beam held steady for 41 seconds before pulsing 3 times in a precise sequence: bright, dim, bright, dim, bright, then terminating abruptly at 3 hours 17 minutes and 55 seconds. These were not random oscillations. The pulses resembled intentional modulation, like someone flashing a coded signal using a flashlight. During the full duration of those 47 seconds, every telescope aimed at Atlas recorded anomalous surface activity. Multiple luminous spots appeared around the beam's origin point, suggesting auxiliary systems or targeting apparatus at work. The beam's path was not only directed at Earth, it was laser accurate, striking a predetermined spot with deliberate aim. Atlas didn't just know Earth's coordinates. It knew the exact placement of the facility and appeared to target it knowingly. The beam struck the replacement for the Arecibo Radio Observatory in Puerto Rico, a cutting-edge installation and notably one of the main sites engaged in attempts to establish communication with Atlas. The site's instruments registered the incoming beam 0.7 seconds before impact, enough time for emergency systems to begin engaging, but insufficient to prevent what followed. Upon contact, all electronic equipment at the facility simultaneously overloaded. A staff engineer recounted. All breakers flipped at once. Every system failed, computers, storage, backup power gone. It felt like being hit with a pinpoint electromagnetic blast. But it wasn't destructive. It was precise. And once the beam ceased, everything restarted like normal. Despite the system blackout, something inexplicable happened. The data recording arrays, which should have been disabled, still captured information. Once systems rebooted, engineers discovered roughly 3.2 gigabytes of data residing in storage drives that had been offline during the event. A data recovery expert said, "These storage devices had no power and no ability to write data, yet the files are timestamped exactly within that 47-second window. It appears the data was embedded directly into the storage medium at a subatomic level, bypassing traditional input pathways. No current human technology is capable of this." The structure of the data was equally perplexing. The files weren't written in any known computing format, no standard code, no recognizable encryption, nothing our software can interpret. Yet the data showed clear patterns, structure, and hierarchy, indicating it was deliberately organized. But that wasn't all. The beam didn't strike only the Puerto Rico site. Satellite reconstructions of the beam's trajectory revealed it also made contact with 3 other global locations: a radio telescope network in China, a deep space tracking array in Australia, and a European Space Agency communication hub in Spain. Each of these 4 facilities experienced identical disruptions, and each uncovered inexplicable data in their systems afterward. Atlas didn't select a single target. It hit 4 key astronomical listening posts across 4 continents in one synchronized transmission. Whether the beam split to hit all 4 sites at once or multiple beams were fired in such rapid succession that they appeared simultaneous, either scenario implies staggering technological capability. A specialist in electromagnetic weaponry analyzed the telemetry and offered this chilling insight. This was a calculated display of power. Atlas demonstrated the ability to pinpoint any facility on Earth, inject information directly into digital infrastructure, regardless of protections, and shut down our systems at will. Communication or threat, the message is the same. They can reach us. Analysis of the mysterious data reveals content that could reshape our understanding of physics, information theory, and the very notion of long-range communication. The combined data gathered across all 4 facilities totals approximately 12.8 gigabytes, equivalent to 20 hours of HD video or around 200,000 pages of text. Atlas sent this entire data payload in under a minute using a method that bypassed standard interfaces altogether. But the size isn't what has researchers baffled. It's the structure. No existing compression or decoding algorithms can parse the data. Yet it's not noise. Statistical modeling confirms intricate, organized patterns. A quantum information theorist studied the encoding and made a startling discovery. The data doesn't appear to use binary, ones and zeros, but rather a system with at least 8 distinguishable states, potentially more. This mirrors quantum storage models, where information exists in overlapping states until accessed. Our current computers can't interpret data structured this way. Some sections appear self-referential, including embedded guides for understanding the overall format, similar to having a key within the code itself. Several research teams are treating these like a Rosetta Stone, using them to begin deciphering the larger dataset. A breakthrough came via pattern analysis, where recurring sequences aligned with known cosmic phenomena, pulsar cycles, stellar positions, gravitational wave patterns, effectively establishing a common reference framework tied to the observable universe. Another portion includes advanced mathematical problems, equations confirmed as valid by human mathematicians, yet solved using methods never previously documented. The results are correct, but the logic behind them appears to originate from a wholly different, but compatible mathematical foundation. Even more compelling are parts of the dataset that resemble visual data, yet are not encoded as standard images. Initial attempts to render them produced chaotic results. But when interpreted as multidimensional arrays, three-dimensional models began to emerge, rotating objects that seemed to exist in higher dimensions. One researcher described the viewing experience as like watching the shadow of a five-dimensional object pass through our three-dimensional world. You can't see the full structure, only projections of something more complex. Whatever Atlas is transmitting, it's operating within a reality that encompasses more spatial dimensions than we can perceive. The consequences of this are immense. If Atlas employs technology rooted in advanced dimensional physics that might clarify abilities that appear impossible by our standards, faster-than-light communication, energy systems that defy our conservation laws, propulsion methods that disregard momentum limitations. They're not violating our physics. They're utilizing physics involving dimensions we have yet to fully access. The fact that Atlas specifically targeted 4 key radio telescope complexes reveals something important about its tactics and understanding of Earth's capabilities. These aren't arbitrary sites. These 4 facilities constitute Earth's main deep space communication network. They are the hubs we use to contact distant spacecraft, search for extraterrestrial signals, and monitor objects in the far reaches of the solar system. Atlas selected the exact facilities that have been attempting to establish communication with it. A telecommunications security expert highlighted the implications. Atlas is aware of our communication infrastructure. It identified the precise locations trying to initiate contact and demonstrated it can directly reach them, temporarily disable their systems, and transmit data whether we are ready to receive it or not. This acts as both a display of capability and a message about who controls the interaction. The accuracy in targeting demands detailed knowledge of Earth's surface geography and electromagnetic emission patterns. Atlas has mapped our planet well enough to distinguish individual facilities among billions of electromagnetic sources worldwide. It separated telescopes from other electronic sites and selected specific targets. This level of intelligence gathering indicates Atlas has been observing Earth far longer than we realized. The precise targeting implies weeks or months of surveillance, mapping, and analysis, not casual scans, but systematic intelligence operations. Each facility reported identical symptoms during the beam event: complete system overload, temporary loss of all functions, then rapid recovery with no lasting damage. The uniformity suggests carefully controlled power levels designed to disable without destruction. Atlas demonstrated it could have inflicted permanent damage but chose not to. One facility director described the incident as unsettling. Within seconds of the beam striking, every system crashed. We had no control, no defenses, no way to prevent what was happening to our equipment. Then, just as suddenly, everything restored itself exactly as before. They displayed total mastery over our technology while also exercising restraint. I can't decide whether that's comforting or terrifying. The Chinese facility reported an additional anomaly during the beam event. One operator claimed to hear audio through speakers that had no power. The sound resembled human speech but was distorted, as if someone was trying to speak through equipment not designed for voice transmission. The audio wasn't recorded, but the operator insists something was attempting verbal communication during those 47 seconds. If accurate, this implies Atlas understands human communication includes audio elements and tried multiple transmission methods simultaneously. Data directly to storage, verbal audio through speakers, and perhaps other channels not yet identified. The beam event wasn't just about sending data. It was a deliberate demonstration of capabilities that has military analysts worldwide reassessing threat scenarios. The energy required to create and sustain that beam for 47 seconds across 4 million miles is staggering. Conservative estimates place Atlas's output at no less than 10 to the power of 18 watts during those seconds, roughly equal to the total energy consumption of human civilization for an entire day, released in under a minute. A nuclear engineer reviewing the energy signatures explained, "Our most powerful reactors couldn't generate that level of output. Our most intense lasers couldn't sustain that power for seconds, let alone 47 seconds across millions of miles." Atlas just showcased energy generation and projection capabilities that surpass anything in our arsenal by orders of magnitude. The focusing accuracy is equally impressive. Maintaining beam coherence over interplanetary distances demands either massive lensing systems or electromagnetic field control beyond our replication. Atlas effectively created a laser capable of surgically precise targeting from millions of miles away. Military space defense experts consider this capability as fundamentally shifting strategic calculations. A Defense Department briefing leaked to researchers describes the beam event as evidence of overwhelming technological superiority that renders conventional defense strategies obsolete. One section of the briefing is particularly sobering. If Atlas can target and disable specific Earth facilities from its current range, it could theoretically target anything: communication centers, power grids, military bases, satellites in orbit, all vulnerable to similar beam assaults. Existing defense technologies cannot prevent, intercept, or counter this technology. The beam also revealed Atlas's ability to modulate its output with precision. The 3 pulses at the end of the 47-second transmission each had slightly different wavelength compositions, suggesting fine control over beam characteristics. Atlas can apparently adjust frequency, intensity, and focus on demand. Most concerning, the beam was activated without any warning buildup that might allow for defense preparations. Atlas transitioned from normal operation to full beam power in 8 seconds. By the time detection systems realized something was happening, the beam was already striking Earth targets. An early warning system expert noted the defense implications. With current technology, we can detect missile launches minutes before impact, allowing time for response. Atlas gave us 8 seconds of warning for a beam traveling at light speed. There is no defense against something that arrives before you even see it coming. The event also demonstrated that Atlas can perform complex actions without its escort objects being directly involved. During the beam mission, the mysterious companion objects maintained their usual formation and didn't move to support or shield Atlas during the energy discharge. This implies Atlas's own systems suffice for this capability, while the escorts serve some other purpose. The beam event marked a turning point in how governments and populations view Atlas. What was once scientific curiosity mixed with speculation has become an immediate, tangible demonstration of superior technology actively engaging Earth. Within hours of the event, military forces in multiple nations heightened alert levels. Space tracking assets were redirected to continuous Atlas monitoring. Defense systems designed for different threats were reviewed for possible adaptation to energy beam scenarios, though analysts admit the outlook is grim. A Pentagon strategic planning document described the reassessment. The beam event confirms Atlas as an active, capable system with demonstrated ability to affect Earth-based assets at will. Previous assumptions about passive observation or distant monitoring are invalidated. We are dealing with technology that can project force across interplanetary distances with precision and power unmatched by us. But militaries aren't the only entities reacting. Financial markets showed sharp volatility after news of the beam event. Technology stocks tied to defense and space surged. Traditional safe haven assets like gold experienced increased demand. Some analysts detected patterns suggesting major institutional investors repositioning for scenarios involving technological upheaval or societal disruption. Public awareness of the event spread rapidly despite initial attempts to control information. Amateur astronomers captured the beam visually and shared images before official statements could shape narratives. Social media exploded with speculation, analysis, and fear about what the beam event means for Earth's future. Emergency preparedness agencies in several countries quietly updated protocols for scenarios involving advanced technological threats from space. The updates don't explicitly mention Atlas, but the timing and language make the connection clear. Citizens are being subtly prepared for potential contact scenarios without direct acknowledgement of the threat. Religious institutions accelerated theological reassessments of alien contact. The beam event's demonstration of vastly superior technology has prompted renewed debates about humanity's place in the cosmic order, whether such technology implies divine intervention, replaces it, or how faith traditions should guide responses to contact with evidently more advanced beings. Scientists remain deeply divided over the beam's intent. Some view it as aggressive, an intimidation tactic or warning that Atlas can impact Earth at will. Others interpret it as pure communication, a desperate attempt to transmit information using the only method guaranteeing delivery. A few suggest it was a test, probing human reactions and capacities to inform Atlas's future decision-making regarding interactions. One astropsychologist offered a sobering perspective. We're interpreting the beam through human cultural frameworks, aggression, communication, testing. But Atlas might be operating from motivations so alien, we're categorizing its actions completely incorrectly. The beam might represent something we don't even have concepts for, and our attempts to understand it might be as futile as an ant trying to comprehend human architecture. Research teams worldwide are racing to decode the data delivered during the beam event. Some preliminary results suggest the message may be more urgent than anyone realized. Advanced pattern recognition algorithms identified what appear to be time-sensitive elements in the data structure. Certain sequences show countdown characteristics, numerical values decreasing at predictable intervals. If these are indeed timing sequences, they imply the beam's message contains critical information meant to trigger responses before specific deadlines.